Oh, we're live now.
Oh, there we go.
Yay!
We're live.
Fine.
Yay!
Yay!
There's a delay.
Do all that again then.
There it is.
Let's do it all again then. Right, so welcome to the Secret Sewing Club. We shall all introduce ourselves again. Sarah's disappeared, so there she is.
Sorry, I was muted. I was pressing the mute button.
Stand by Smith. We were supposed to have Hayley West from Handmade by Hayley. Unfortunately, she's had to cancel. So we have a lovely standby Sarah who has got some lovely goodies for us. We have a kind of non-sewing guest up the top there.
Oh, it's like blankety blank. I'm loving it. Like Celebrity Squares. Loving this. I think Hayley's down that side.
No, I'm on the other side.
Yeah, we could do the Waltons.
I'm loving it.
Right.
Loving this.
Hi.
And there's Debbie as
Hi,
well.
Dana. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Debbie and Bella.
It's
So-
so funny.
Yeah, it is quite odd, isn't it? It is quite fun because it's obviously we're all together and we can have a little bit of a back and forth, a bit of a chat, which is always fun. So I know what Sarah did for Christmas, and any New Year's resolutions from the people up the top there.
Oh, I've got loads.
Oh, I've got far too many to go through.
I like
Yours,
that
you've
Adam's
just got a new
looking
studio.
towards.
I've worked
Yeah.
out where everybody is now, so I can look at you.
He's pointing towards you. We've never had anybody do
so-
that.
Yeah. Well, we can do the same. Hi.
Hi.
So
Go on,
what's
you
yes,
first.
the
my
resolutions then?
Well, one of them is I finally got my studio sorted so that it becomes a permanent arrangement, which will make things a lot easier. So
You're excited about
yeah,
that?
I've got a downstairs. My downstairs is my studio, and instead of being a living room, because who needs a living room? But I've moved everything around. It's sort of my screen area has been in lots of different places
Yes.
around the room, and I finally settled on here, and I think it's going to work much better.
So she's very excited about that.
Yes, that's my most exciting news. But
Excellent.
that's my New Year's
Excellent.
resolution, is to keep this as a sort of dedicated space.
More videos, more lives.
More videos, more lives.
With the new sewing ventures that you're doing.
With the new sewing things, yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. And your New Year's resolution.
Oh my goodness, I don't know where to start. If you don't know, my husband and I decided to buy a chateau last year in France. So I'm actually in the
As you
UK,
do.
but I'm flying back tomorrow.
Yeah.
With the idea of bringing arts and craft retreats.
Yeah.
So my New Year's resolution is I'm learning all about DIY. And talking of DIY, I'll be on your screens on Channel 4 with Chateau DIY this month sometime. So it has been a bit crazy. So my New Year's resolution is to learn all about home deco and DIY, which is why Bella's here, because Bella looks after my sewing side of things, because although I am learning,
Yeah.
and I only started to learn to sew last year, I have to do not just sewing, I'm learning to wallpaper, I'm designing wallpaper, I'm designing paints, I'm designing all kinds of things in that side as well. So Bella is, although I'll be with you with
Yeah.
doing loads of different lives, I'll be sometimes in France.
Yes. There you go.
Very
Nice.
nice.
So what have you got that will live up to that then, Humphries?
So move to France, Chateau. I'm unemployed and looking for a job. You know how the other half live. You know how it is. Unemployed, still looking for work. But this year we are going big on and I said it last night when I did All Round Mine, which is sort of a little spin-off of the Facebook Lives we used to do with Create and Craft and things like that. So we're going more in depth behind the brands. Like, people will still come on there and sell and tell me your wares and tell me what you do, but we want to know the people. Who are the people behind these brands? Because we've known them, they've been on our screens for 20, 30 odd years, some people have. And so we're doing those every single Thursday because we don't want to saturate the market with just lives and people chatting. So I'm just going to keep to a Thursday at 8 o'clock if I can. And then on the back of that, we've also started retreats. Yes. We've started luxury retreats.
And there is, in fact, a secret sewing club retreat?
There is a secret sewing club retreat, not that far away, to be perfectly honest. It is on the 12th of April at Hawksyard Estate, and I was there 2-3 days ago. It is stunning. It is a beautiful, stately, privately owned, stately home in the middle of Staffordshire, around there, so it's easy to get to. But yeah, so that's what we're going to do, and I'll tell you more about it later on.
Perfect.
I'm just
Very
getting
busy.
into YouTube as well, so I can chuck any questions that come in to anybody. And Sarah,
Hi. Hello.
what's your New Year's resolution then?
I don't tend to make them. I don't like the whole new year, new me thing. I just think because I'm pretty okay as I am, frankly. So
I like it.
Brilliant. Love it.
But you know what, I
That's
just
very
think,
good.
you gotta love yourself as you are. You know, there's no point being negative about stuff. So I don't really tend to make any New Year's resolutions. Just because I'm a very lucky girl. I'm very content with my life. So we've got to buy a house this year. So I suppose my New Year resolution is to actually buy a house. I've got to move. We've got to move this year. So yeah. So but yeah,
We stopped calling them. We stopped calling them New Year's resolutions. We call them goals now, and because I think it's right, because everybody has a goal, and it's like a big list, isn't it?
yeah.
So
absolutely. You could
a
tick
house
lots of
is a
stuff
big
off.
one.
It's
Yes,
endless.
yes.
It's endless.
But also,
Endless.
Yeah, we were talking about it on New Year's
resolutions
Eve with the kids and stuff, and they were saying, what do you want to, New Year's resolutions, and everyone was like, do you know what, everyone's, I'm very lucky, I'm very content with my life. Everything's really good. So, do you know, I don't really overly want to change things. I'm okay.
Nice. That's good.
Excellent. This is good, happy work.
Win the
I'm in
lottery.
your camp, Sarah. I don't bother because they're never going to last that long.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's like, give up chocolate or something like that, that isn't even going to make it till the afternoon. So, yeah.
Next hour.
Just accept it. Move on.
I also think with
Right,
the
are you up
resolutions,
first,
they don't
Sarah?
have to be done at New Year. Anyway, sorry.
I don't mind, lovely. I can go first if you want. Or
Perfect. You can go
Can we
first.
go for it?
and
Okay,
then,
all right.
We will see everybody in just a minute. Let me go and get you ready, and over to you.
Over to me. Hello, my lovelies. You all right? Happy New Year. Hope everyone's had a lovely few days so far. Did you get the snow? Because we didn't in Dennis. Not a drop. It just rained. It was horrible. But my son and daughter-in-law got a lot. They were up in Caerphilly and loads of snow. So I'm very jealous. We've had no snow. As we said, we've done, this is a bit of a fill-in one because we've had somebody drop out at the last minute, but I have put together some bits and pieces for you. As always, they are on our website, www.whitegeckocraftlounge.co.uk. In the shop section, there's a whole section there that says Secret Sewing Club. And there are some bargains. There's some 20% offs there. And there's some things I'm going to show you that have got, that are really reduced. It's a bit of a New Year sale. I had a good rummage yesterday. Thought, right, what can I offer you at a sale price? That's what we're going to do. So I'm going to whip over to the overhead over here. And the first thing that I've got for you guys is these little applique templates. So these are something we've been doing for years and years and years, and I kind of forgot about them a little bit. Something that I hadn't looked at for ages. We've got 4 sets. I haven't got any of set A. They're sold out. I'm waiting for them to be reprinted. But we've got set B, set C, set D, and there is actually a little Christmas mini set as well. What these are is there's 16 templates in there. I don't know if you guys can see this. No, I'll just go through them. You've got a full instruction leaflet and all there as well. And they are little applique templates. So you can do these as fused applique. You can do them as turned applique. You've got in set B, you've got a balloon, air balloon, a plane. There's a bee. There's a bird. There's some cactus. You've got a little castle there. Little fairy tale castle. You've got a crab, a cupcake, a fire engine, a flamingo, a jellyfish, a lighthouse and lion, a little sloth, a train, and on the back you've got your turtle. Okay. I'm going to very quickly go through these and then I'll show you some examples. So set C, this one is actually my favourite, I have to say. Again, you've got that instruction leaflet and all there. This one, you've got a boat, there's a T-Rex, there's a dragon. They're all numbered up. You've got instructions about where you would need to backstitch as well. There's a rocket on there. And if we get a chance, I'll do a little demo on these later. Got a seahorse, a
Sarah,
sheep.
can you just remind us where you find them and how much they are, please? Because
Yeah,
to do
absolutely.
the admin, telling
That's
people to go to your own website.
Yeah, if you pop over to whitegeckocraftlounge.co.uk into the shop section, and then there's a whole section there called Secret Sewing Club. These sets of Unique templates, they were $15.99 for all 16 in each set, but they're down to $5.99, so you've got £10 off them basically. And I will keep that then through until Monday. Sort of to Monday, sorry, Tuesday when I'm back in the shop, because we don't open on Monday, so that'll be sort of like 48 hours. You've got a little dragonfly, you've got a fox, there's a frog in this one, a hedgehog, a ladybird, a squirrel, and a unicorn. So that's set C. And I'll actually show you. I've got one of the quilts made up here for this one. You can see that. So there's the dragon all made up. Okay, you've got the unicorn there. These are on 10-inch squares, but we are happy if you want these to be bigger or smaller for you to put these through your computer, scan them, and resize them. Okay. You can see you've got my little sheep there and my hedgehog. There's the giraffe and the squirrel. And then, sorry, not a lot of space. I've got to kind of flip this around a bit. There we go. You've got your spaceman. You've got your fox. There's a boat and a dragonfly, teddy bear and a T-Rex, and a seahorse and a ladybird. And one of my lovely sewing groups actually did these for me, did all these samples up years and years ago. This is set D, which you've got like a sun and a cloud there. You've got a clock, there's a little dog, there's a little rag doll, there's a parrot, a panda, Highland cow, a little alien, he goes with the spaceman in the other set. You've got a little shrimp, or depending on what colour, he could be a lobster. There's a little teacup and saucer, a zebra, monkey, goat, nearly there, a little beaver, car, and then there's a moped on the back. And if I just flip back over to the front facing, hopefully you can see that set D is the one that's behind me there. So those have all just been done on white. We've quilted as you go them to put them together. But if you're doing like charity quilts, you know, quilt Project Linus or quilt for care leavers or quilts for veterans, these are a really nice way of adding a little bit of detail in there. And again, they've got 10 quid off, so bargains. And then the last little one I was going to show you is the Christmas mini set. This has actually got a full alphabet, which has already been reversed for you as well in there. And then you've got little minis. So these are a lot smaller than the other ones. But again, you can scale these up and down if you want. These make beautiful like Christmas placemats and cushions. I know we're over Christmas, but these are down to £3, these little sets. And you get all of them. So you've got your nutcracker, your cracker, your gingerbread man, and your Christmas tree. You've got a stockaded angel, a little Father Christmas head, a reindeer, snowman, and a Christmas pud, and your full alphabet. And that one's down to £3. So those are the little alphabet PP templates.
Sarah, that one's $3.99 on your website.
Sorry, lovely, £3.99. Did I said £3, didn't I?
Right.
Sorry, my love. Yeah,
Do you want me
£3.99.
to show people where they are while you get your next bits?
Yeah, please. That'd be lovely. Yeah, perfect. Just while I grab the
No
next bit.
problem. Okay, so if you click that QR code that's at the top of the screen, it will take you to here, which is the White Gecko Craft Lounge website. And then if you scroll down, there's a set C, set B, set D is this one with the cow on the front. And that's your Christmas ones, your Christmas minis as well. Let me see what she's got next. It looks very much like this one. So I shall switch back to Sarah.
So I put a little bundle together for you as well. So this is a PB Textiles bundle. It's called Flowers to the Sun, and it's a panel. Plus, you've got 2 meter pieces of this as well. So you've got this beautiful little scatter, which has got like this really dusky sort of colour in the background, and then all those little petals and everything and flowers. And then this one, which kind of looks like stained glass, which I just think is gorgeous. All those blues and purples in there. But that's a metre of each of those in the bundle. And you also get the panel as well. So this is just scrumptious. It's so bright. Hang on, I'm trying to flip it out for you. There we go. So you've got a full like stained glass look there. Okay, it's all sort of watercolor themed. And then looks like stained glass. So really, really pretty panel. There's a large piece and then 4 small pieces there. So you've got that little one there, which is like a little seascape. And then that's like a little flower meadow. I just love the vibrancy of this one. Again, that's more like a stormy sea. I think that looks like the waves crashing. And then you've got this beautiful one here as well. Okay, so that bundle, if you bought them all individually, if you bought a metre of each of the fabrics and the panel, it would be £43, but they're £30 for the bundle. And they are very limited on those. We don't have many at all on those ones. So if you want to have a little look at those as well, that'd be good. The other things, because I want to do a quick little demo for you. I have got a slight scheduling conflict today. I've got both of my grandsons here, or my son and daughter-in-law out. So my husband, I've dumped the kids on my husband. So I've got 3 little charm packs. I've got the coriander coloured one, which is like a really beautiful rainbow, really bright geometric. We've got the Rosemary Cottage, which is a brand new one, which is all sort of like blues and purples and navies. There's a little bit of sort of like corally, salmony pink in there. White's really, really pretty one. You can see them all on the website. And I've also got Lydia's Lace, which is sort of a really traditional Civil War type looking one, which I've already opened because I'm going to demo with this one. Okay, so those are the little charm packs. And then again, have a little look online because you can see them a lot easier. But I've got some of the massive quilt panels. I will try and open this up for you. Hang on. I'm coming back over here. So there's 3 of these. There's the dragon. Oh yeah, I'm going to try and do this in one. So this is the Cranbourne one, which is upside down. It's upside down. It's huge. They're 58 by 58 inches, these panels. They're by Lewis and Irene. This is a quilt top without having to do anything. If you like hand stitching, you can't really see it properly on screen. I'm trying to show you, but it doesn't work. You'll be able to see them on the website.
Jump on the web and show it.
Yeah, you want to jump on the web on those ones because they're so big. I'm not tall enough. I'm just not big enough to hold them out for you. There's 3. There's Year of the Dragon. There's Cranbourne.
I'm going to show everybody for you. So Cranbourne is this one here. That's the one that Sarah was holding up. And then she's got... Is it the small? No, the small things and rivers and creeks. That's not the one. Year of the Dragon. There you go. That's another one of the really large toppers. But there is a small thing, rivers and creeks one, which is a panel. But there is also a small squares panel for that matches with it as well, which I believe is what Sarah has now.
It is indeed. So there is a full panel, which is the 58-inch wide, but then we've got a small squares one as well, which is this one, which is super, super cute. I'm obsessed with this little otter. Hang on, if I just come to the close-up, you can see there's this really, really cute little otter. These are, like I said, made by Lewis and Irene.
He's just living his best life, that one.
Yes, just floating along, having a bit of fun in the water. He's lush. They're 5-inch squares. They work really well with charm packs. This would work brilliantly as a shadow quilt. You've got all sorts. I mean, you've got little double otters there, little beaver having a little gnaw on a stick there. You've got frogs, beautiful little kingfisher, some frog, all sorts, little goose on there. This one's really cute, actually. It's right on the fold. Look, having a little cuddle. Having a little cuddle with his baby otter. So that's also on offer as well. So all of those are on the website, and I'm going to stop showing you stuff. I'm going to do a demo now for you. So what I thought I'd do is go back to charm packs, go back to basics a little bit, because we've had a few people in the shop the last couple of days say, I bought a sewing machine for Christmas. I can dressmake, but I've never quilted. What can I do? And we tend to always start people off with a pre-cut because it, you know, like charm packs, jellies, layers and stuff, it's nice and easy. There's hardly any cutting. But if you can already just sew them together, which, you know, makes a quilt top, you want to do something else. The thing we start most people on is disappearing 9 patches, which is very, very easy to do. You're going to do hang on, let me come to this one a second. You're going to do a little 9 patch like that. Just sew your squares together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then you would cut it up. So you would cut up along each of the sort of 4 seams. Okay, so you would cut it. I tend to cut 1 inch either side of the seam and then turn it. But if you've already done a lot of 9 patches or disappearing 9 patches, there's lots of other things you can do. People always think of a disappearing 9 patches just cutting and turning. But what about is if we, I've got to find my long ruler now. It's vanished. Why is it always in the wrong place? There we go. What about if we cut it on the diagonals? So I thought that's what we do on this one, first of all, is cut this on the diagonals. So I've just sewn my 9 patches together. And then we're going to think about this being a diagonal line all the way through. So instead of cutting them horizontally and vertically like we would normally, we're going to cut 1 inch away from that seam. So I've got my ruler and I'm going to use my inch line on my ruler. I'm going to go from the corner up here, through the diagonal here, through the diagonal there, like that. Make sure it's all nice and neat. If you've got a longer ruler, that would help. Typically, I don't know where mine is. It's vanished. If you've also got a 45-degree line on your ruler, line it up on one of these verticals or horizontals. Again, it will just make sure that everything is nice and neat. Okay, so I'm just going to cut up. I'm going to cut 1 inch that way. Okay, like that. And as a lot of you who watch our normal lives will know, I'm very much a what if girl. What if I do this? What if I do that? So I've cut that 1 inch that side. Now I want to cut it 1 inch the other side. So I'm going to whip my ruler around and do exactly the same the other side of the diagonal. Now normally I would turn this, but because we're filming, I'm going to be very naughty and cut it this way, which please don't do this normally. Turn your fabric, but I'm trying to do it so that it stays nice for you. And you guys can see it. So I've cut it diagonally. I'm just going to put it that way. Okay. I'm going to push it back together a second because I want to do exactly the same on the other side. So we're going to cut diagonally that way now. So I'm going to again line up my ruler diagonally right the way across. Make sure it's hitting the corner. It's coming through the corners there. I'm going to go through this way. Just move my ruler down. If you've got a longer ruler, it always does help. But I very stupidly, I think I've left it over the shop, my really long one. That way. And then I'm going to do exactly the same and do the other side 1 inch the other side. So corner to corner to corner. And away we go. That way. And then just finish that off like that. There we go. So what I've got now are all these pieces here like this. Okay, I'm going to open that all up. And now you can play around. So you can do that disappearing where you swap pieces, but you're going to get a very different look to the traditional disappearing 9 pack. So if I swap this one, actually, no, let's leave the big ones. Because again, this is your decision now. Let's just swap the corners to start with, like that. So we're going to go there and there, like that. Okay. If we put it back together just a little bit like that, you can kind of see what's going to happen. Now, you're not going to end up with a square in the center again, but you've got, because when we sew it back together, you're going to lose your 1/4 inches. But can you see you've got the start of this sort of Ohio star type thing? Is it Ohio or sawtooth? I can never remember. I think it's sawtooth actually, isn't it? Starting here. Okay. You could then, if you wanted to, flip these ones. Okay. That's bringing that one back together. Let's move them all one round. Let's move them all one round like that. Okay. So again, you've still got that red in the center, but you've suddenly got something that looks a lot scrappier. You've got all sorts of things happening now. putting this back together, we're going to put them back together diagonally. So I'm going to sew that together, and then this one. Are you all still with me? Because I can't actually see the comments.
Yes. I've got your comments for you. Don't
You
worry.
got them. There we go.
I've also
Okay.
got I've got some, and I've also got questions for you.
Oh, okie doke.
Which is
Yeah,
great.
go ahead.
So you've got
What I'm going to do is
to,
I'm going to sew these
think about
together, but ask me the questions while I'm sewing,
How-
okay?
Well, one of the questions is, have you got any top tips for when you're sewing like that and you're effectively sewing on the bias of a fabric, you're sewing on the diagonal?
Just go slow and steady. Don't be a Speedy Gonzales on your machine so you don't stretch anything out. I rarely pin because I'm naughty and I don't like it. I can't be bothered. I'm too lazy to pin. But
Well,
actually,
you like being naughty, but you don't like pinning.
well, absolutely. But you pin it. Use a lot of pins when you're doing this so things don't stretch out of the way, and slow down. We tend to sort of like speed through straight line sewing, but actually when you're sewing on the bias, slow down. I would also starch my fabrics before I started too. So I'm just going to sew these pieces together so I can show you. I would starch them
I've got a lot
really,
of people
really
saying
well.
yes, they're still with you and they're watching and sewing at the same time.
Ah, fabulous, lovely, lovely. Yes, use a good, a best press or a starch savvy beforehand, before you put everything together, because that will just hold all those threads sort of in place, particularly if you're working on the bias. So.
And we've got Jane, who says the disappearing 9 patch just blows her mind.
Yeah, I mean the traditional
a couple
one.
Of people who are saying that were determined not to spend a day and they're skinned, but have accidentally things have just fallen in their basket.
Have things just fallen in there by mistake? Uh-oh.
Yeah,
well, I have given you some bargains, so it's not like it's a lot of money. Now, $5.99 is a nice little treat for yourself, And it's isn't it Blue Monday tomorrow?
With some of the template sets, though, they're things you can use over and over again. They're not going to go out of date. They're not going to go out of fashion.
No, exactly. That's the joy of fabric. It doesn't ever go off. It can sit in your stash for years. Right, just putting these together, and then I'll iron them out for you and show you how you can put the whole block together. But I like a disappearing 9 patch. It's one of the very first ones we start people off on because it's a relatively easy block to do, but it looks like you've done a lot of work. But why do you always have to do it over, on the straight? Why not try it on the diagonal? And once you've sewn it back together, then cut it up again. Do that, traditional down the horizontal or something, and see what patterns you can make. You don't have to start. I've got a 4 patch there as well, which we can. Oh, hang on, wrong one. Which we can do as well. Which it doesn't have to be a 9 patch. Do it as a 4 patch. Do it as a 16 patch, and cut it up and see what happens. There's so much you can do with a really traditional block. Right, nearly there. Just do these bits all the way down. Oh, I can hear that little man giving my husband a jip in the front room. He can manage. We brought up 5 kids. He can manage the grandsons. There we go. So I'm going to do that one there.
That's a really good kind of demonstration of when you are working with a disappearing 9 patch or a block that you have to kind of cut up and put back together again. It's not always going to end up perfectly square again. And
it really won't. Can you see this bit here?
Start with.
Yeah.
And what
because of the
sizes.
Yeah, because of that 1/4 inch seam allowance, I've got a piece here that I'm going to have to square up now because obviously you've lost some of it. But again, that's part of the fun. So I've ironed those 2 out towards the larger squares. These ones are going to go through to the center piece so that I can nest those like that. So we're just going to very quickly pop this together. I'm just going to. I'm not using pins. I know. Well, they're here. I thought I might as well pretend like I'm a good girl and use pins. mean, it doesn't happen very often. And then I'm just going to iron this one out as well, so I can put the whole thing together, and I can then just show you how to square it up. But you can then cut into it again. Throwing it away. There we go. Like that.
I've got Sarah asking about the tape that's on your sewing machine.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, sure. I'll show you now, guys. So this little bit of tape here, it's seam guide tape, and I use it a lot if I'm making like half square triangles, things like that, because it gives me, I do 4 inches, so I can just line my fabric up here and just go for it. It's
Just dropped out there a little bit, so just repeat that. It went from very quiet to very loud all of a sudden.
Oh yeah.
Now it's quite quiet again.
Hello, can you hear me? I'm not sure if you guys can hear me. Hang on.
That's it. I've just turned you up a bit. You're all right.
Oh, there we go. I was just saying that the seam guide tape. Hang on, come up here. Seam guide tape. Sell it on the website. If you put hemline seam guide tape in, it's about £3.95, I think, a reel, and it lasts for ages. It's got markings on it, which I've got like 1/4 inch, then line, and then 1/4 inch the other way. A lot for half square triangles and stuff. And it just gives you that extra little bit. You don't have to use a 1/4 inch foot if you don't want to. So, but yeah, really, really useful. If you've got to make a lot of half square triangles and you don't have to draw all the lines across, it works really well for that. Right, 2 seconds. We're just going to whiz down this one. Probably going a little faster than I should because I'm not pinning, but never mind. So yeah, you can see what I'm doing is I just
do as I say, not as I do.
Absolutely.
It's where you've just told everybody to put pins in it and go slowly.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, we're on limited time, so I thought I'll just do it quick. There we go. So we're going to add that one back onto there, and then just very quickly nest that up.
Teresa's just joined us, and she wants to know what's the project you're working on.
Oh, so I'm just using a charm pack. Something you can do if you've got a random charm pack sat there, or if you would wish to buy one, lovely. But if you've got one sat there and you think, oh, I've had it ages, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm doing a disappearing 9 patch, but cutting it diagonally rather than vertically. We do have a pattern which is called Disappearing Always. It's on our website, and what that will give you is it gives you, I think it's 6 different ways to disappear a block. So this is just one of the 6 ways you can disappear it as such. So and it gives you 6 patches, 4 patch and 9 patch, and different ways of doing it. So, right. If I just come back here.
Do as I say, not as I do, with sewing over the pins as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Smacked.
Sorry. Right, I'm just going to very quickly iron this out, and then I'm going to square it up for you so you can see that actually that really simple 9 patch has turned into. Sorry, my iron's not reaching either today. Hayley, can you do me a second, love? Could you mute Adam for me? He's really loud. Oh, yeah, he's really loud. Oh, right, okay. So you can see now by sewing that back together, that original square that when we just had the pieces laid out looked like a square has now kind of become this sort of like quatrefoil type shape there in the center. And it's very, just by doing that simple 2 lines of cutting both ways and messing around with the pieces, you've got something that's a lot scrappier. You could then, if you wanted to, cut into it again. So you could cut down the center there and flip the pieces again. And it looks like you've spent hours and hours doing teeny tiny little pieces and building it all up when you really haven't. Like Hayley was saying, you do need to square this up because you do get these funny little pieces where it's an odd size. So this is actually going to be 12.5 inches by the looks of it. Pretty much spot on. So what I would want to do is half of 12.5 is 6.25. So we find our 6.25 inch line. And this little center seam here is where I'm going to line that up. So I'm going to line that up there and there. And I've got a seam here as well. So I want my 6.25 there too, so that this little red piece stays right in the center. And then I'm just going to stand up to square this up, and I can trim down then all the way round. So I'm right-handed, so up the right-hand side first and then the top, like that. And then flip it round, and then we can go the exact 12.5 by 12.5, which is handy because that's what this ruler is. So there, oh, hang on, just moved a bit. There we go. Not doing very well today, it's slipping. There we go. Okay. So relatively quickly, you've got a block now that looks like you've spent hours and hours, and you can see it's really quick and easy to do. It was just a really simple 9 patch that we've messed around with it, you know, and moved things around, and it becomes very unique, very individual, because how you move it will never be the same as somebody else's, how somebody else moves it. So it's all different, you know. So have a little play around with that, with a 9 patch. If you've got an old charm pack there that is just hanging around, you can make some really interesting designs just by playing around with it. So that's a disappearing 9 patch. Do you want me to do the 4 patch, or do you want to do somebody else and come back to me later, hun? What do you want to do? Yeah? Cool. All right, no problem. Now.
As you do.
You've had a little move around.
Have we all moved around?
We're on the screen different now.
Oh, we are.
Means I can
Well,
poke it up like that now.
I can move you around if you'd like me to. Nobody's got any
Oh,
objections.
You're all the same on mine.
Yeah, I haven't moved anybody. It's all good. It's all good. Right, I think that as we did explain to you, Debbie, the running order was quite a loose concept for us.
Totally fine.
At Secret Sewing. Oh, everything's paused. Hang on. Oh, what's happened there? Something very odd has happened. It has all just stopped. What has gone on there?